Where is it? I stopped sharing. Hello everyone, this is Deborah, VP of CLO Virtual Fashion, and
Grace, 3D designer of CLO Virtual Fashion.
And it's our pleasure to welcome you to our very first live demo event. We're pretty excited. Are you excited, Grace?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to share CLO with you guys.
Okay, so we're going to do this in 2 different parts. We'll spend the first half of the session showing you a live demo of CLO Atelier, and then we'll use the latter half to do a FAQ/Q&A session.
We're going to try to keep this thing as interactive as possible, so please feel free to use the comments window located at the bottom of the screen to ask questions along the way.
Yep, and I'll be keeping a very close eye on that window to feed you questions and requests, Grace.
Got it.
Okay, so let's get started. It's all you, Grace.
Oh boy. Alrighty. Let's see. Let's switch over to the software. So as you guys are familiar with, this is the software, and we have the library, the 3D window, the 2D pattern window, the object browser, and the property editor. So I'm going to start off by bringing in Harper, one of my favorite avatars from the marketplace. And to inspire my designs, I'm going to add some shoes and some hair as well. Yeah. I think that's pretty good. So from there, I'll just bring in one of my patterns. And it's really easy because all I have to do is drag and drop from the library. And I'm going to clear my library so we have more space to work. And from there, all I have to do is start arranging the patterns around the body, like so. And once that's done, I can go in and start sewing it together. And once that's done, I can just take the half patterns that I sewed and arranged and symmetric paste it over. And you can see that they've been arranged. And the sewing has been copied over as well. So all I have to do is sew the center fronts and the center backs together. And then my favorite part, simulate. Yep. So once you have this garment together and everything looks okay, with simulation on, you can start pulling at it and playing with it like so. Oop, and if it gets stuck in our arm, just pull it out like that. And then you can go in and start making little design changes, such as lengthening it or widening it. And let the program work itself out a little bit. And actually, since I have the garment on her, I'm just gonna change her pose. This is also something I've gotten from the marketplace as well. And voila. From there, it does look a little bland, so I'm gonna go in and add a little ruffle to the bottom, like so. And it's really great because I don't even have to do math and calculate. Like the program will just gather it in for me and divide it evenly, as you can see with the sewing right here. And then from there, if I don't like this loose fit look, I can use, let me just, there we go. I can go in and I can add darts as well. Of course, sew it up really quickly, simulate again, and voila, we have darts. If I decide that darts aren't the method I want to go down, just delete them really easily. And instead, I can add in elastic. So let's see. Maybe higher up. Yep, that's good. So I can just stick in elastic like so, play with how tight I want it. And then I can pull up and style the garment with the elastic added. Just like that. So from there, let's see, what else do I want to do today? Oh, I'll add in a small little pocket. And you can see it's a working pocket because you can actually pull and play with it. But also, you're not stuck with what you just created. You can edit width, length, and also location, which is really important for designs because a pocket just in like 1/8 of an inch off can look really bad. So from here, actually, I think I want to switch over and make a sweater instead, because I tend to make these little dresses all the time. So I'm just gonna go in and let's shorten it, decrease the width. So basically undoing everything I just did, and let's see. And don't worry if your patterns go a little wonky. All you have to do is select them and just rearrange them. Oh, haha. There we go, like so. Let's see, I'm gonna make a few more changes just to make sure everything looks aesthetically pleasing. All right, and then I'm going to go in. Let's add a little cuff to the sleeves as well. And this is great because just within a matter of like a few seconds, I can see all sorts of design changes that I may or may not want to have on my garment. So yeah, just adding a little waistband. Yeah, there we go. All right, so now that we have the sweater, I'm gonna go ahead and merge the back and merge the front. So it's actually like a sweater. And then from there, it does still look a little bland, so I'm gonna use my chalk tool. I don't know, draw some funky design line. Then I'm going to use my internal polygon line tool to sort of trace this little line that I drew. And then cut and sew. And the great thing about cut and sew is, one, I just cut the pattern into 2, and also it sewed it for me, so all I have to do is simulate, and voila. So from there, now that we have the garment created, we can get to the fun part, which is fabricating. So I have conveniently bought a bunch of marketplace fabrics that I can pick and choose from here. So depending on what fabrics I add, let's see. Let's go with a cotton jersey for to add that to everything. And you can see that not only has the sheen of the garment changed, but the drape as well. And so has the texture. We can go for, let's try cotton voile, leather, why not? Let's see. I want canvas, all right. Ooh, matte nylon, that's kind of cool. I think I'll end on a terry. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so once you've fabricated the garment and seen the drape and decided that you like how it looks, you can go in and start adding textures because, you know, a lot of designers tend to work with prints. So let's see, within the library of prints that I have, ooh, wait, that's kind of cool. Ooh, but I think the scale is a little off. So, oops, if I select the right tool, there we go. I can scale up or I can scale down. I think that's okay. I can also play with placement like so. And you can also alter the grain line. So you see if I alter the grain like so and simulate, the drape changes just ever so slightly. So with this terry, I think it's a little bit loud. So let's see, I'm gonna get rid of the texture for that one and drag and drop it onto, yeah, sure, why not? Drag and drop it onto there. And let's see, let's grab a color using our eyedropper tool. I'm gonna pick a color from within. Sure, why not? There we go. So
and I'm gonna quickly jump in. We have
What's
a question from a user, Dong Sa. He's asking if you got all of the fabrics from the marketplace.
I did, actually. So if you do, oh wait, okay. So within the software in the library, if you go to Marketplace and click on that button right here, it will load. Oop, it's on the other screen. There we go. It will load the Atelier Marketplace, and of course you have to sign in. I will put in my credentials on the other screen. Oops. There we go. And you can see, voila, there's the marketplace. And if you go to the fabrics tab, all of the fabrics that are in the library in this demo that I've been using are listed here. Cool. So let's switch back to the software. Great. So now that I've added fabric and I've added color, let's get even more detailed. Let's go in and let's add some top stitching. So I'm just going to go in here. And let's see, what top stitching do I want to use? Let's do a zigzag since it's the most obvious. And I'll pick a crazy color. Yeah, let's go with that one. Go in here. Just dictate where on the pattern this stitch is going to go. And you can see it's just been applied. And I'll put it there. And I will also put it on the tops. Why not? Ooh, so wonderful. All right, so once that's been done, let's see. Do I want to do anything else? Yeah. Harper needs a bottom, so I'll just add some shorts to the workplace. And from here, I'm just going to up the resolution really quickly. And that's just by changing the particle distance, and that makes the garments look more real. You can see as the software is working that the folds are becoming more and more realistic. And now that she's clothed, I can do a little 360, admire my great creation. Then I can also save garment info. So this is really great because then you can start inputting information like style, I can't spell. There we go, style 001, and then all whatever other style numbers that correspond to it. You can input information like fabric, what season it's for, etc. We have all these little things that you can input information into. And then you can make sure it displays when this file loads and click OK, so that if you send it to other people within the company, or if you send it to your factories, they can get all the right information just by opening the 3D file. Let's see. And so another thing you can do is you can take little snapshots. I'll just save it as a demo. And then you can dictate what type of views you want. You can even go in and take custom views. So if I really wanted to get a photo of this view right here, I could just take that custom snapshot, dictate the preset paper size, the orientation, all this information, mess with how many views we have, the layout, et cetera, et cetera. And this is great because once you have your look, then you can take it into Photoshop and you can Photoshop her into all sorts of different backgrounds and use it for a lookbook. And then finally, when you have everything done and ready and you're curious as to what she'll look like rendered, you can just go into our internal renderer, and you don't have to use another software. You don't have to learn anything about 3D. Just turn on the renderer and boom, you're done. And trust me, your garments look a lot better when they've been rendered. So yeah, actually, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. So come at me with the questions. I'm ready for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Grace. Yes, keep the questions coming. I know we do have a super user down here that has been asking a lot of questions. which we'll get to in the Q&A session. But before we jump into that, I do want to cover some of our most frequently asked questions. So out of all the inquiries we've received thus far, these are the top 3 questions. Let's quickly jump over to our lovely slides. The first question is, do you offer a student discount? And yes, we do. As long as your CLO Atelier account email is the email associated with your academic institution, you're eligible for our student discount. It is $50 for a month-to-month subscription and $30 a month for an annual subscription. Just keep in mind that the month-to-month subscription is billed monthly and the annual subscription is billed annually. That's the only side note we really have. And if you are changing your email address from a regular email to an academic email, make sure that you checkbox select the I qualify for the CLO academic discount option right here, and provide your school name, country, and expected graduation date, as we need that information to verify eligibility. Then let's get to the next question. What is particle distance? We do get this question a lot, and I'm going to ask Grace to take over and answer that within CLO. But since it is related to question 3, my garments look a little flat. How do I get them to look more realistic? I'm going to have Grace tackle them together.
Okay, so let's hope I can remember those questions. All right, so the first one is particle distance. I briefly mentioned this earlier before I went into rendering and all that, but what it is 3D objects in general are made of mesh. So if we look at our avatar, for instance, and switch over to mesh view, you can see she's made of mesh. And the garment as well, if I switch over to mesh view, are made of meshes as well. So particle distance, if we go in and we change the particle distance to, actually, let's just do it for one pattern piece for explaining. If I change this particle distance to 5, you can see that the triangles get a lot smaller, and that's what makes garments look more realistic. Hence the answer to the other question. Changing the particle distance of your pattern pieces to 5 will help make them look a lot more realistic, because these little triangles will fold very, very nicely. The other thing, here, let me hide the avatar, to make it look a little more realistic is the default setting for the program when you open it is textured surface. And that's nice because it shows you the wrong side of the fabric. See how it's slightly darker than the outside, which is the right side. But when you're done and about to render or take snapshots or anything like that, if you switch over to thick textured surface, which is this guy right here, then you can see it adds like a little thickness to the garment. And that's what helps it look a lot less fake and flat. I hope that answered the question.
Cool. Awesome. So yeah, we do answered the most frequently asked questions. If you do have more, just send us an inquiry. But we are going to switch over to the actual Q&A questions that are coming through. Another question that's coming through is, can you use colors from Illustrator?
Oh yeah, you definitely can. So what's really awesome is that you can, so you saw me briefly go in and change this little color swatch tab over here and using the eyedropper tool and picking a color. But another thing you can do is bring in your color palette. So obviously every designer will have different color palettes for spring, summer, fall, winter, etc. So you can go in here, click on this little plus tab right here, go to wherever you've loaded your palettes. I have some prepared. And these are all from Illustrator. And you can also bring in palettes from Photoshop as well. You just need to export them. I think it's ACO and ASC. I can't remember which one belongs to which, but you can bring in palettes from both of those softwares. Just select it, click open, and you can see your palettes are loaded right away. And the other great thing is you can then take whatever colors you want and bring them in, or you can just take your whole palette and scooch them over in here as well.
Cool. Another question, symmetry. When you get a chance, can you show that again?
Oh, yeah, sure. Lots of questions today. exciting. Okay, so symmetry is really easy to use. Ooh, hold on a second. Let me just, okay. Go away, Harper, for now. Okay, so what it is you just take a pattern, you copy it, and then if you right-click on it, there's something called symmetric paste. And if you click on that option and move your mouse around, there's going to be a little ghost option. And if you paste, you'll have a reflection of your pattern that you just copied and these little blue boxes around it, plus this little line. And what that tells you is that this pattern and this pattern are linked. Meaning, if I make any changes here, it'll just, whoop, not like that. It'll reflect over. If I make any internal shapes, they'll reflect as well. And if I delete it, it'll reflect as well. So that's how you get to symmetric paste.
Cool. We have one more question. Do we still have Harper in the screen?
Oh, yes.
We do? Okay, so Angela is asking if we can see the rendered version of the garment without the avatar.
Yeah, of course. Here, let me just hide her really quickly. And the render is just gonna take a little bit of time, but there you go.
Cool. And then Pete is asking, am I able to import my own image files for fabric prints or adjust fabric properties for the fabrics I'm using that are not available on the marketplace? So I think we could just show him how to add different prints to different fabrics. While Grace is getting ready to show you that, I'm going to answer the latter half of the question. Unfortunately, with CLO Atelier, you are not allowed to adjust the fabric properties of the fabrics. All the fabrics are purchased from our marketplace. It was a decision that we made because it's very, very difficult and expensive to digitize fabrics. So we just did it for you guys. So if you go onto our marketplace, we do have quite a wide range of fabrics available. And keep a close eye on the marketplace because we are going to be adding a bunch of real-life vendors that will be selling, a ton of different jerseys, cottons, leathers, you name it, in the next coming months.
Mm-hmm. And as for adding the texture images, all you have to do is get a repeat print, like so, and then save it as a PNG, and then you can just drag and drop the image onto the garment, and it will be applied to the fabric, like so.
Awesome. I do have a more complicated question.
Ooh,
are you ready for this, Grace?
Sure.
Can you make bags in CLO, specifically a messenger bag?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So pretty much anything that has to do with fabrics you can make in CLO. So whether that be bed sheets, pillows, inflatable chairs, or bags, everything's possible.
This is by Valerie, by the way. Do you think we can quickly show our very basic square bag?
Oh man,
it's very
square
just
bag
to show
making
you.
thing. Okay, let's see. This one might take me a little bit. Give me a second. Let me see. Bear with me. It might be really, really rough.
But rough to Grace is still really fast in most people's point of view. So.
Oh, I hope so.
There we go.
All right, let's see. And then I have to take this guy. I mean, this would be a lot easier if I had a bag avatar, but because I don't, I just have to deal with what I have. All right, and then, so yeah, I'm really sorry if you wanted to see a more complicated bag. But anyway, here we are. So we have this guy. Nina, yeah, this is why having a bag avatar is so much easier because you can use your arrangement points instead of manually adjusting like I am. And then let's see. Oh, come on. Oh, wow, that was really far away. Voila! So we have a very narrow little bag going on, and it's crumpling because the fabric property is just our default fabric, which stretches a lot and doesn't really have any strength. But if you were to add a leather here, then it would probably become a little bit more rigid and create the silhouette that you want. But if you just want to see it, you can also strengthen the bag. Oop. You can see that the edges get a little bit stiffer, but of course it still falls over because it's the default fabric.
Then we have another question from Angela. How do you import existing patterns? So just a note about patterns, we do support the DXF AAMA and DXF ASTM formats, which you can see from this menu here. You do have to make sure that they are in either of those two very specific 2D CAD, 2D apparel CAD formats. It will kind of be garbled if you do try to attempt at bringing in just a regular Illustrator DXF. So please make sure that you are importing it from 2D CAD systems. Next question, where can I get patterns? Marketplace, this is from Finn on Google Hangouts.
How did you know? Exactly. You can just go to the marketplace and you can find your patterns here. And what I really like about using these patterns is that I personally don't draft patterns or have access to people who can digitize my patterns for me. So I tend to just buy them off the marketplace and then make edits to these patterns. I just kind of use them as blocks to create whatever nice looks I want to make.
Okay. One more question. This might be the last one unless we get some more through on either Google Hangouts or YouTube. Is a 3D pattern printable as a real world pattern ready to be cut and sewn? So I'm going to kind of give you the background while I have Grace show you our one-to-one 2D solution included with CLO Atelier. The one feature that we do not have within CLO is adding seam allowance. So you will have to manually draw in seam allowance after the patterns have been printed, but we do have a feature called 2D Snapshot, which allows you to designate a paper size. So you can either use, A4 or letter, whatever you use, or you can actually choose a wide format, like 24, 36, 44 inch paper size to then bring it to your local printer like Kinko's or Staples or Office Depot to print out it on paper. And then, of course, you can use those patterns to cut your fabrics. We hope that answers your question. But again, because we are not a 2D CAD software system, we don't actually have the seam allowance included on the patterns. You will have to add them after you print them out. All right, I'm going to just check that we don't have any more questions. Let's see. One more question has come through. This, I think, will be our last one. Is there an easier way to style your garment?
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to get a garment for that. Let's see. Yeah, just bear with me. I'm gonna really quickly recreate my shirt because I need an actual garment. Oh, and give her some hair. All right. All right, so for styling, there are a few things you can do. Something that I use quite a bit is if I want to fold up parts of my garment, I will use the fold arrangement tool, which is this guy over here. And it's nice because you can go for sewing lines or internal lines, which I just drew on the sleeve. And you can select it, and then you get these little arrows that pop up where you can just fold up that part. And voila, there's a little bit of styling there. Or let's see, I'm trying to think of other things. We also have pinning up here. So let's say you had like a ribbon you made or I don't know, like a collar that you had positioned in a very specific way and you didn't want it to move, you can just kind of drag and drop over, or sorry, click and drag over the 3D, or to be even more precise, you can go in to the 2D patterns, and then you can see that if I just move these pins, the pins stay still while the garment moves around, or the garment can move around. And then another thing, sometimes actually you'll find that the garment can get stuck within the body. If I can, all right, I can't get it to do it. I will show you how to fix that problem by using the solution to get it stuck in her body. There we go. Okay. All right. Doesn't want to work with me. But in the case that you do have the garment stuck in her body, you can use our select mesh tool right here. It's this guy. And the great thing about that is then you can, once again, you can click and drag over the 3D or click and drag over the 2D patterns. And then you can just use the gizmo and manually pull out this piece like so that when you simulate, the problem goes away. I hope that answered the question.
Cool. Actually, we have one really quick question.
Yeah, what's up?
This will be the last one. How do I pose my avatar?
Okay, so that also involves going to the marketplace. And if you go to the avatar tab, then you can see there's a category for poses. And depending on what avatar you have bought and you want to pose, in this case, since it's Harper, I'm going to women, then you can see the different poses available. And once you buy them, you can add them to your library and then just drag and drop them onto the workspace.
Voila. Your beautiful posed avatar. All right. I think that is it for today. For those of you that have RSVP'd with your user ID, you'll see 30 days added to your trial by tomorrow morning. So check in on that.
Oh, and be on the lookout for our second live event, Basic Training.
Yes, Grace is especially excited for that one. And everyone will get to meet Jesse, the mysterious lessons voice guy who's right here.
Hello.
That's Jesse.
But in the meantime, visit our lessons and index pages for tutorials and practice files. You can always contact us with a specific question as well.
Yes, I know that there are a couple of questions we didn't get to today, but just email us and we'll answer them right away. So thank you everyone for making the time to tune in. I hope this was helpful and informative and fun. And see you next time.
Yep. Have a good one till then. Bye.